There's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Feel like a dynamite, ready to explode right up in the sky. I'm walking alone in the streets and
What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Double Gameweek 22 podcast, episode number 52. I'm joined by Roy, who is feeling very happy, top of the table, dressed in his Arsenal kit as well. How are you doing? After a long time as well.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you, Ryan.
Yes, wish
Hi,
you the
everyone.
same.
Yeah, I've been happy for the first half of the season, really. Remember, I made a prediction of Arsenal finish top of the league
Yeah,
at Christmas.
Yep.
It happened.
yeah, exactly.
Maybe it's time for me to make another prediction, is it?
Oh, what is the prediction this time? Is it until the end of the season, or are we talking like somewhere maybe a couple months?
No, I think now is time just to predict the end.
Okay,
Let's
so what is it?
Go for it. I think before Partey get injured,
Yeah,
I was 80%
confident.
kind of confident
Yeah.
Arsenal would do it.
Yeah.
Then Partey got injured. I know he's not serious, but it just kind of putting some doubts in my mind.
How long is that
Oh,
injury?
I don't know. The last time I heard is he's going for a scan, but
Yeah.
there's no report saying what the result is. So I'm a bit worried.
Oh.
But it's not muscle injury. It's not ankle injury. It's
Mhm.
ribs, right? So
Yeah.
I thought it won't be too long.
Yeah.
2 or 3 weeks, I suppose. But anyhow, I just kind of putting some doubts in my mind. So now I'm a bit 50-50.
But there are, I don't think Arsenal have that many games as well within that time space. So it's not too much of an issue because United, I know, have like 8 games in like a month. But then that's because of the Europa League, that extra round, 2 games with Barcelona
FA
there.
Cup as well.
FA Cup, yeah. So this Arsenal don't have the same number, I think. But then again, Partey is still probably one of the key areas for that midfield as well, of Arsenal's midfield. Question
He's
is,
probably the most important player.
yeah, exactly. The question is, now Jorginho has been signed by Arsenal, not a like replacement. I don't think. I think he offers something different. Whether he can fit in for those games that until Partey is back we'll have to see, I guess.
Just different type of players.
Yeah.
I mean, the start on Jorginho and Partey is quite similar, but that just doesn't tell the full story.
No, it's the play styles are different. Like, I would say Jorginho is more of a he controlling the game position type player. Partey obviously offers you that more break-up style as well, including also moving the ball forward.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, so what's the
I'm
prediction?
feeling happy. Predictions are 50-50.
Okay, 50-50. Okay.
So not overly confident. It really depends on the result of next week, Arsenal versus City. If Arsenal can beat City, then I think
then
I'll
you have to be
totally different opinions.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So that means not next week, but either next week or week after when I get you on, we'll have another discussion with regards to this prediction, and we'll see where you are at.
Yeah, so far my prediction's been right. So
So we'll see. But this time
Ooh,
you're on the
fingers
edge
crossed.
for today. Alright, so we'll see when like 2 weeks time. We'll see what happens and what Roy's predictions are. Zachariah, welcome to the chat as well. Hope you're doing well. Now we're going to be talking about double game week 22, but we'll also have like a bit of chip strategy discussion as well. I did put out a video yesterday with regards to some chip strategy. Hopefully it helped a few people. If not, we'll go into it a bit more detail here, and I'll try and get Roy's views as well. I think you have all your chips still so far. Yep, everything intact.
Yeah, so far, yep.
Okay, so same for me. So we'll have a discussion on that as well. Now, this is the Game Week 22 fixtures. Keep in mind that it is, for anyone, I guess, elsewhere in the world, it's probably a Friday deadline. For us, it's like a Saturday early morning, but still somewhat of a Friday deadline for us as well in Australia. So 5:30 in the morning. So there will be a deadline stream. So I'll have to get up very early, but there will be one. So keep in mind with regards to that, and we'll also be talking about double game week 22 and the fixtures. Quick question: how many double game week 22 players will you have in your team, roughly? Is it just the triple United, or are you looking to get any Leeds players?
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah, asking you.
I got 3 City United players,
Yeah.
and I don't have any Leeds players
Yeah.
at all because I'm more thinking about the week after.
Yeah, fair enough.
You got Arsenal and Man City,
Yep.
so I don't want to waste too much money on getting
fair
Leeds
enough.
player
Makes
in.
sense. Yep. And you probably wouldn't want your Leeds players after as well, I think.
Yeah, they got 2 away games, so
Yeah, exactly.
I think Forest has been quite good,
Yep.
and United is probably the most informed team in the league. So I just can't see Leeds get anything out of it.
Yeah, fair enough. Cool. All right. So I'm also on the similar. Like I have triple United, but then one of them is Martial, so I kind of have to move that on. And I'll be probably moving to Bruno Fernandes. But there has been talks that Martial is back in training, and I would expect him to probably feature in the game week. But I still think Bruno is probably a better option at the moment.
But you're gonna have to use 2 transfers together.
Yes, I am on hit central this week. I'm all the way up to a -8 in terms of planning. But I'll probably tell it to you, and maybe you can see, because that involves Arsenal as well. So we'll see. Now, this is a small table I made of probably where we can make chips. Now I was like looking at, okay, where can you play each specific chip, and maybe what doubles are coming up, what blanks are coming up, all of that. So game week 22, we know United have Crystal Palace and Leeds both at home. And in 23, City have Aston Villa at home and Arsenal away. Then there's supposed to be a blank in 28. There's also supposed to be another blank in 32, both because of FA Cup fixtures. So teams that qualify for the 6th round of the FA Cup will have... Yes, 6th round of the FA Cup, I think, will have blanks in 28. 7th round in 32. So there will be teams that kind of have to get readjusted. So these are the fixtures that we know that are confirmed happening so far for 28 and 32. And that's mainly because these teams are already out of the FA Cup.
Right.
There could be more teams that appear, but we don't know at the moment because it has to depend on round 5 of the FA Cup as well. Now, there is also a possible double game week in game week 29. And this also seems to be a very... or at least there's talk in the community that's a good week for a wildcard, because people are thinking maybe you dead end your team in 28, and then you move into game week 29 with a new fresh team basically for wildcard, and then for the season onwards. That's one place. Now I was also looking at where else you could have doubles, and it seems like you might get a big double in 34 and a bit more of a smaller double in 37 from what it looks like. I was like, okay, where can you play another wildcard? Maybe 33 could be a decent option. If 32 is like blanks again, probably dead end your team in 32, wildcard, and then you wildcard straight into prepare for the game week 34 double, whether you want to play a bench boost there. So you set up your bench boost in 33 to kind of play it in 34. And then you could probably free hit. If you save your free hit chip, if you haven't used it by 28 or 32, you could probably free hit in 37. But then that will all depend on the status of the fixtures in 32 and 28.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, you missed Arsenal, right? Arsenal in
28
double game week as well.
In 28. 1 second. Give me a second. Hold on. Okay, sorry. Arsenal in 28, right?
20,
In 32?
20. No, don't we have 2 games at 23?
Yes, you do. But I haven't included that in the triple captaincy discussion.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Because I don't think you. I mean, the problem with Arsenal with regards to triple captaincy is there's no certain pick that I would want to put the armband on, because the points are shared across quite a lot between Odegaard,
That's correct.
Saka,
That's correct.
and all of that. That's kind of the reason. So that's kind of the thinking right now. Obviously, I haven't added 25 here because even though there are blanks, I'm expecting people to be able to navigate, because it's only Newcastle and United who are most likely getting blanks at this point. Newcastle definitely. Oh, and Brighton as well, but because of Newcastle's fixture. But then I'm expecting people to be able to navigate because there are bigger blanks that will require the free hit later. So this is kind of the lay of the land. Hopefully it kind of helps people. I'm not really sure. But this is kind of where the thinking is. And this is kind of where the triple captaincy chip also discussion comes in, where there doesn't seem to be another game week you might want to play the triple captaincy in compared to maybe playing some other chips.
True.
And also because we just don't know what the doubles are going to be like for the other game weeks. So there's like talk where in 29 where you maybe wildcard, there's also a double game week. United might get a double there, but then that's along one of the fixtures is Newcastle. So is that double better than the current double? Probably not, because Newcastle are a better defensive team.
True.
Then City also we don't know, because depends on cup fixtures, depends on UCL, all of that. So trying to pick out another double for the triple captaincy chip is a bit hard at the moment without that information. So yeah, hopefully this kind of helps for anyone else, and hopefully I've explained it decently, at least my thinking over here.
No, because a lot of things are going to change, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly. Yeah,
a lot of uncertainty there.
Yeah.
But I think one thing we can point out is because Arsenal is out of
FA Cup.
both cups,
Yeah.
so it is pretty much quite safe to have Arsenal play.
Yes,
because they
so
will
triple
play
Arsenal is
every
like a
week.
Yep, exactly. So triple Arsenal makes the most sense right now, because during those blanks they will most likely get a game. Now 32 we don't know, because I think the opponents that they have in 32 are still in the FA Cup, so that depends. But Arsenal right now seems like a very safe bet to make in terms of getting triple Arsenal, at least until game week 29.
Yeah.
Okay, now moving on. This is I've taken from Ben Crellin to kind of go a bit more in detail of where we could kind of see things. So this is kind of sorted based on which teams have the most likely like doubles up front. So Leeds and United are right on top. Then as you can see, 23, there's a double for Arsenal and City. 24, nothing. 25, blank for United, looking most likely because of the FA Cup. Not FA Cup, sorry, the Carabao Cup. Is the final is on that day, and now Newcastle are also through, so they also have a blank. Brighton played Newcastle, because of that Brighton also have a blank, and I think Brentford played United, so Brentford will also have a blank. But there is a potential for doubles. Arsenal could get a double in that week, where they get Leicester and Everton as a potential double. We don't know yet. That's a possibility. But very unlikely by the looks of it from percentage-wise. Liverpool could get a double in 25. So that could make maybe Salah as a decent option. Whether it's captaincy is a different story, but maybe a decent option. Crystal Palace and Wolves. Wolves could also get a double because of that. And then Everton, if Arsenal get a double, Everton also most likely end up getting a double. And then 26, a few doubles. 27, a few doubles. 28 looks like the major blank one. That's because of the FA Cup, where teams who go to the next round will miss out. And then 29 doubles, I don't think there are any blanks, which is why maybe wildcarding in this week also could be pretty decent, because you can also capitalize on the doubles as well at this immediately. So that's another option. And then 32, at the moment we have a few blanks. With 30, 31, also small doubles. So yeah, this is kind of the lay of the land. I think we'll get better information probably 26, somewhere around that time. So we'll have to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is just slight information. Anything standing out, or?
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, saving your wild card until 28 probably is what we're getting out of this, right? And trying to get rid of all the Man United players.
Yeah.
From now to 25. because they've got just 4 blanks there. And most people's got Newcastle players, Brighton players, and United players.
So, I mean, you can get, I think, what I'm thinking is going to happen is a lot of people will, if you have, because people will have at least maybe triple or double United, and maybe double or single Newcastle even. And out of like the players that you have, I think a lot of people will keep Trippier and Rashford on their bench.
Correct.
And will most likely get rid of the rest.
Correct.
If not, the third bench will also probably be one of either Newcastle defender or a United attacker. That's where I'm thinking. Or even a United defender in terms of Shaw. That's also a possibility. But the other 2 spots, I think Trippier, no one's going to drop because too much value held in him by everyone almost. And then Rashford, just on really good form that you'll probably want him for the other games as well.
Yeah, I mean, also you probably want to keep Mitoma.
Yeah, exactly. That's another thing. So if anyone has got Mitoma, they probably want to keep him, right? Because he's just on insane form, and the Brighton's fixtures are also still pretty good.
Yep.
Now that's another thing, because I'm thinking of Mitoma as well. I don't have him, but I'm willing to bring him in, even with the upcoming blank, and just navigate through it. Especially if they look like they might get a double in 26 and 27, not a bad option. But yeah, that's kind of the thinking right now. This is just FA Cup, kind of to get an idea of what will happen. So like Gameweek 28, the chances of fixtures, like Liverpool could get a fixture if Fulham lose to either the Sunderland game in the replay, or if they lose to Leeds in the FA Cup 5th round. That's a possibility for Liverpool to get a fixture with Fulham. Wolves, if Fulham gets a fixture, Wolves don't get a fixture, stuff like that. But the chances of blanks in 28, United and Brighton, high chance of blanks, because if Brighton beats Stoke, either blank, or if United beat West Ham. City, West Ham, high chance of blank there as well. Southampton, Spurs, also high chance of blank, because Southampton's opponents are pretty easy as well. So are Spurs. So those 3 fixtures, the chance of blanks are very high. And then obviously, Brentford, Leicester, also high chance of a blank, because it depends on Leicester. If they win their cup fixture, they should, most likely. But yeah, that's kind of the situation. We might have at best probably 5 fixtures, the 4 that are here confirmed, and maybe either Liverpool or Wolves, one of the 2. So that depends. I'm not going to look too much into 32, because that's just a minefield right now. We don't know what's going to happen until then.
It's too far away.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the kind of where we are looking at in terms of Game Week 28. So if you're having United assets, at least 2 blanks incoming before Game Week 29. So which means how many do you want to carry over? It depends on your bench and everything, all of that. Cool. Now, straight into... Now, I got team defense up here, but I want to tie this in with the triple captaincy discussion between Rashford and Haaland. So I'm just going to bring this up. Give me a second. This is from Fantasy Football Scout members area. I used it in the video yesterday for the triple captaincy. For the chip strategy discussion. I've added Haaland and Marcus Rashford here. Haaland is basically in green. This is this is the whole season. Rashford in black. Now, I'm going to also switch this slightly to post-World Cup, because post-World Cup, it does change a bit because Rashford's form improves as well. And this is post-World Cup. So obviously Rashford, then chances, like the circle kind of changes to different parts now. Now Haaland still dominates in like bonus points, big chances, expected goal involvement, and like shots, goals, everything Haaland dominates. But Rashford does increase slightly in chances created, total assist, and baseline bonus. Haaland still looks like the best option. And Rashford probably second, even in like the stats. If you were to look at expected stats, I'll switch this to maybe per 9 per appearance. Haaland per appearance, at least expected 1 goal involvement. Rashford on 0.7, so very close over there. But in terms of goal threat, Haaland is significantly more in terms of numbers, because he gets, I guess he gets more service is one thing to say. The other thing is, unfortunately, it didn't pop here, but it's not popping up the touch heat map. But Haaland's heat map is much more lower because it depends on whether he gets the ball or not. So we've seen recently, was it Gameweek 20, I think, when people tried to triple captain Haaland, it didn't really work out per se. So where are you with triple captaincy?
Oh, for me, it's quite clear, Rashford, because you do need to look at who they're playing against and what they play at home or away, who are the opponent. So for City, at home to Aston Villa, it's quite clear who the favourite is.
Yeah.
But since Unai Emery took over, I think Aston Villa has improved quite a bit.
Yes.
Especially from defense sort of point of view. I mean, going to City.
Yeah, I will add that again. Now I'll tie that with the defense now that you brought it up. I've highlighted the defenses here, team defense of Leeds and Crystal Palace. Right, this is post World Cup. All of these stats post World Cup because managers changed, right? Unai Emery, new manager at Aston Villa, so we kind of need to consider that as well. And then Crystal Palace and Leeds would have had some training during the World Cup time to try and improve, but even then, their defenses are very low in terms of numbers. Both of them are the bottom four, Leeds and Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Aston Villa kind of mid-table in terms of defense, and obviously Arsenal insanely superior. I would say third best defense at the moment. So this is where I guess it tilts over to Rashford just because the fixtures are really good.
It's Man United home game. Crystal Palace is really bad away.
Yeah.
Leeds, they're pretty attacking minded and they're pretty much all over the shop at the moment. So I just think from the result point of view, United's got more chance to score more goals compared to the City.
Yeah,
City, I can see Arsenal City game be a low scoring game.
Yeah.
Whereas Villa really depends on if City score first and early. If they don't, they will struggle.
Yeah, that's the thing. But at the same time, having said that, the Villa game, it's also a huge chance that Haaland gets a hat-trick. Just because he's capable of it, you know what?
Yeah. Against Arsenal.
Arsenal will be very hard. Oh, but then there's no party. That's another thing you kind of have to consider.
Yeah, if you watch Arsenal City game, the FA Cup game.
Yeah.
I watched the whole game. Both teams are pretty cautious. And Arsenal.
That is true because I would say Arsenal played a much more weaker team in that game, and City still didn't really do much.
True.
Which is what so then if you Arsenal were to play a much more stronger team in the league, it's going to be a much more closer competition.
Yeah. I mean, Foden is injured, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Cancelo's gone. So from City attacking point of view is really coming from who's that? KGB and Mahrez.
Yeah.
And I mean, Arsenal is pretty good defensively, and I can see Gabriel shutting Haaland down for that game because both strong, tall, good with headers, aggressive. So I really can't see City get too much out of that game.
True. The counter argument to that is, though, I think the same could have been probably said about the United game as well, but then there was a 3-2 scoreline.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny, that game. Yeah. That game is strange because Arsenal could have won the game easily.
Yeah.
Guess what? Rashford is there.
Exactly.
That's and he can just make things happen out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Which kind of make me feel like more confidence in Rashford doing better than Haaland.
Because he's probably the most informed player at the moment.
He's the most informed player.
Yeah.
Because once you're informed, all other players will pass the ball to you because they know
exactly.
Rashford's going to do something.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a gamble, right?
Yes, it is. Because we won't control anything after the deadline.
Yeah.
It's all, I mean, it could be very successful or it could just be a disappointment. There's nothing you can do after that.
Because this is football we're talking about.
Yeah,
Anything can happen.
exactly.
No matter how much analysis you've done.
Yeah.
You look at the past 20 years history, still
doesn't
not
matter.
going to tell you what's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
So for me, it's quite clear.
Okay.
In my head, it's pretty clear. Rashford is, if you just compare this double game week and next double game week, for me, Rashford has got more chance to score more.
Yeah, fair enough. And he gets like the extra point for a goal, clean sheet also, possibility 1 extra point.
Mm-hmm.
So the chances of more points are a bit more higher with Rashford because of the
you also
position.
Think about it this way, right? The difference is you're still going to captain Haaland next week.
Yes.
So the difference is 1/3 or half
it's just exactly. Yeah, that's true. True. That's kind of one thing I would agree on. But this week also, like, I think a lot of people will still captain Rashford as well. Although
true
I have also slightly debated with the idea of captaining Bruno Fernandes just for that differential, just because he's done well in double game weeks. But the one, I guess this is a more of a double-edged sword, is now Eriksen is out injured. The advantage to that is now Bruno is probably on more set piece duty. And I still think he has penalties over Rashford, even though Rashford took the last one. I think the last one was more so Rashford was chasing a record. But at the same time, because Eriksen is now injured, I don't know if Bruno will have to drop a bit more deeper for creatine. That's kind of where I'm unsure about. So I have toyed with that fact of potentially being slightly different. Now that could also be because of the fact that I'm in a 1 million rank and I kind of want to try and be different to try and gain rank. But
so who's going to come in? Who's going to come in for Eriksen?
We don't know at the moment, to be honest. I think it'll be Fred because McTominay is also injured. And Sabitzer is just joined. Good signing, but I don't expect him to immediately be playing first game itself. So it'll most likely be Fred. So it'll be a Brazilian midfield with Bruno Fernandes right in front.
So having talking about this, I mean, this is it doesn't work favorable for Rashford because Eriksen is the creative sort of midfielder.
Yeah.
Without him, it will be less chances created for him.
Probably yes. Depends on the situation. Again, but then this is it's a bit hard to tell because that's true. But at the same time, now it depends on Ten Hag's press conference as well because he's mentioned. I've seen quotes about Sancho and Martial being fit, and could be in the matchday squad for against Forest. Now, if Martial plays, he's a bit more better in terms of link-up play with that front line compared to Weghorst. So that could probably link up well with Rashford. It's a possibility. Even though Martial's attacking output is not as great, his contribution towards linking up the attack is much more significant and better compared to Weghorst. So I don't know. It's very hard to tell, right? You could say, yes, Eriksen not there. Eriksen plays on the left. Rashford gets that benefit as well. Now Eriksen's not there. It's a bit of a problem. So I don't know. It's very hard to tell what's going to happen. But again, we can do all this analysis and it won't matter after the deadline.
I guess it's just if you look at the bigger picture, is 2 home games against very defensive or bad defensive team, then United is going to get points.
So that's what, and the chances are Rashford are most likely, even if he scores 1 goal in each game, you probably end up with like at least 15 points minimum from that. So 30 point, 45 points, I mean, that's not a bad return.
Yeah, true.
If he maximizes bonus, then you have 20 points minimum without your triple captaincy. Yeah. So, I mean,
The worst thing you could happen is you get red card in the first game and...
Yeah. then that's unlucky. But chances of that happening, hopefully, touch wood. Hello.
But anyway, that's my view.
Fair enough. I might still probably end up with that Rashford triple captaincy, but I have toyed with the Bruno option as well. But yeah, we'll see. I think most likely I'm going to end up with Rashford triple captaincy, especially if he gets rested in the cup fixture.
Mhm.
Most likely going to be there. Now, other thing is team attack. City, Arsenal, United, right on top. The three best teams for attack at the moment, post World Cup. I've also highlighted Leeds and Crystal Palace, as you can see, below mid-table. Aston Villa, mid-table, so they will probably give City a bit of a problem in their fixture, which is why, again, okay, maybe when you look at compare the two fixtures, the City double doesn't seem as great. Because if Arsenal are one of the best attacks and best defenses, that game is going to be a very cagey game.
Mhm.
Usually that's how
Yeah,
at least.
I can see Arsenal beating City in this game.
Yeah, I won't be surprised.
Yeah, because
They
it's
have
at
been
home. And I think it's about time we beat them.
Fair enough. And let's see. That'll be a very good game, but FPL wise, it might not return too much. So yeah, that's kind of team attack. I've gone to teams, but before I go back to the teams, anything from, let's say, the other fixtures. Okay, actually, I'll tie these in with like teams and other fixtures. Arsenal, right?
Mhm.
I'll first start with maybe Trossard. Do you think Trossard will be a problem for Martinelli or even Saka or Nketiah?
Yes, even if take him out,
Yeah,
we're having. I think it's been noted that Saka's been scoring goals,
yeah,
creating chances.
yeah.
It's because Jesus is not there.
Yeah.
So when Jesus is there, he tend to play on the left hand side. To link up with Martinelli and doing 1-2s, and quite a lot happening on the left.
Yeah.
Since Nketiah is playing, he's more shifting to the right.
So Odegaard also gets more involved because of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So regardless whether Trossard is a threat or not, it's not going to be too much happening on the left.
Yeah, okay.
And so I think I can see what's going to happen is if left hand side doesn't work at the start for 60 minutes, I can see Trossard comes on.
Yep.
Because he changes games a little.
Yes, he had a very good impact in the cup as well. Yep.
So he's more inward sort of winger, whether Martinelli is more
outward,
and outward on the wide side.
Yeah.
So I can see if Trossard comes in, is Zinchenko going on the left wing.
Okay.
Trossard going in the middle a bit because we could see that in the last FA Cup game. That's what happened once that change happened. So to answer your question, yes, you will have impact to Martinelli.
Yeah, fair enough. There's also that question. I don't think this will be an issue because Jorginho and Saka penalties. That's not going to be a problem because Saka's penalties.
Will take penalties.
So now, having said that, if you were to pick 3 Arsenal players, right? And let's just say people have Ben. Now, okay, wait. Before I go to 3 Arsenal, Ben White still better option than Tomiyasu, or will?
Oh no! I actually think Tomiyasu will be given a run of games because what happened in the FA Cup. No, so I will be 50-50 on these two at the moment.
Ooh, so if you had Ben White, what would you do?
Change to Gabriel.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Then the next okay, that's an interesting one. So if you had to pick 3 Arsenal players right now for FPL, which 3?
If we're not talking about budget, then it will be Gabriel, Saka, and Nketiah.
Okay.
/ Odegaard.
Okay.
So Nketiah and Odegaard probably I'll be
the third pick kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. All right. I'm a Ben White owner. I have to be a bit worried now.
Oh, I mean, Eddie will score goals for you.
Yeah. Nketiah is not an issue. It's more of the defense because then the transfers that I'm thinking is slightly different. I'll tell you my transfers a little later. Okay. So that kind of covers the Arsenal thing. Do you think Everton, obviously, no signings in the window, but new manager bounce? Still? No, nothing?
You know what Sean Dyche is going to do is just 11 players at the back.
Behind, yep, exactly.
But Arsenal is not the old Arsenal anymore.
No.
I think we know how to break people down.
Yeah.
So
that's when I watched that game, United Arsenal, the amount of pressing that happened in the first 25 minutes, it's like the constant pressure button was on, turned on to like
and the last 25
yes,
minutes.
exactly.
Too.
So I've noticed that in Arsenal before as well. Like they try to get that first goal really fast if they can, and then obviously the floodgates open because the other team has to try and attack now. So yeah, still.
I mean, Everton's got no threat at all at the
fair
moment.
Enough. Yeah,
absolutely zero threat.
Chelsea obviously signed as every single player under the sun at this point. Playing Fulham, their fixtures do improve. I'll bring this up as well. Chelsea's fixtures do slightly improve sooner or later. Fulham, West Ham, Southampton, Spurs, Leeds, Leicester, Everton. Then probably a double. I mean, it's a pretty kind fixture run. Is it a wait and monitor in terms of their players?
Yeah, you don't know who's going to play, right?
Yeah, that's also true. They have so many players. We don't know who's going to be registered as well.
Yeah, I mean, what's his name? Mudryk?
Mudryk, yeah.
I think he's a really good player. But if he's playing every game 90 minutes, I think he would be a good pick.
Fair enough. Yep, fair enough. In terms of defense, Reece James is back in training. Maybe wait and see whether he gets 90 minutes after that move or...
Well, he's letting so many people down so far, so...
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't know what's going to happen.
But we also know what he's capable of. That's the only problem.
Yeah, I can't see Chelsea finish top 4, but...
No, I don't
know. I don't know. I don't even know whether the performance is going to improve because you can't expect the players to be happy
with so many
after the club just buying so many players.
True. Maybe that's also true. I don't know. We'll have to see how did they do. At this point, I have Kepa, and I'm happy to just have Kepa.
I think that's probably the only one.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right, we wait and see on Chelsea, monitor their situation, and maybe in a couple of weeks we'll have a bit more information. Wolves, Liverpool. Do we maybe wait and see if Liverpool get a double or not, and if they do, maybe move. Otherwise, just avoid. Or
I mean, yeah. The Wolves are good. They're a good team.
Yeah, exactly. I won't be surprised if Wolves actually draw this game.
Yeah, I know. So no, don't touch any Liverpool players.
Yeah, fair enough.
I still got Darwin in my team. I need to move him on.
Most likely. I think they're just not the same team as they used to be last season.
No.
Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see on them. There's a comment from Zakaria he mentioned earlier. After Game Week 25, Brighton assets are a must. Mitoma, Dunk for double Game Weeks. Now, I'll probably add to that. I feel like Mitoma is just on the form of his life right now. That maybe even moving early, I won't mind it too much. The fixtures also look good. Obviously, they play Bournemouth this week, which is also a good fixture. After that, they've got Crystal Palace, Fulham, then a blank, obviously, in 25. But then they got West Ham, Leeds, maybe a double somewhere in there. That's a possibility. But then they have another blank in 28, most likely. And then 29, maybe another double. So there are a few blanks in there, but there are also doubles possibly in there. Mitoma, still a good option to bring in, or kind of depends on squad situation?
Yeah, I think teams now probably will be paying more attention to him.
Yeah.
He's such a quick and skillful player. So hard to play against. And it seems the ball coming to him a lot. So, I mean, he will be my pick to keep until the end of the season, until something happens.
Yeah, fair enough. True. Yeah, I'm also looking to try and see if I can bring him in, because I think he's just on form that I just want to get a share of those points before everyone just gets him in. Any other specific teams that you kind of want to mention here, or?
No, really, no. Because of the double game week, this game week and next. So what you do is just keep United playing now. Change to City and Arsenal.
There's also the other thing of the KDB to Bruno to back to KDB move, which quite a few people are probably looking to do. I will most likely be doing something similar, not probably to the extent. I'll be doing KDB to Bruno, but then after that, I don't think I need to do Bruno to KDB back again. I could also do Almiron to Mahrez if I wanted to. Because I just don't know if KDB is as necessary of a asset at the moment, just because of based on just the returns in the last few weeks, where Mahrez seems to be matching him.
I agree. I think Mahrez is in form as well.
So would you do, if you had KDB, would you do KDB to Bruno? Obviously you have Bruno already, but would you, if you were in that situation?
See, if I don't have 3 United players already, I'll definitely get someone in. But as you said, probably wouldn't move him back. We'll move to a cheaper City player.
Yeah. Okay.
We're doing exactly what you just said.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right. Cool. All right. So those are the fixtures at the moment. We'll see how it goes. Teams. Right. 79 points. Lucky Cancelo didn't start. Rashford came in with 7 points from the bench. And Robertson clean sheet through some miracle or the other.
Just mess up with the goalkeeper, didn't I?
Exactly. I mean, who would have thought Liverpool wouldn't score? I also put Kepa on the bench. I was like, but this is what it is. What are your plans? Thinking at least.
I'm playing against you in the head-to-head.
Oh, am I?
I'm going to tell you what.
I'll tell you what I'm doing right now. Anyway. It won't change.
Cancelo is gone.
Shaw.
Luke Shaw comes in. So that's the only change I made for this week. Nothing else. That's it. Darwin, I'll keep in this week until next week. I'm moving on next week to get Arsenal play in. So because now next week I only got 1 City and 2 Arsenal players. So I don't know what I'm going to do next week. I'm thinking about using the wild card, but I thought, no, that's just a bit wasteful. I might take 4 points and to get 1 Arsenal, 1 City player.
Okay,
that's what I'm thinking doing next week.
Yeah, it's fine. You have a 8-point. You'll probably have a 8-point lead on me this week because I'm thinking of a -8, and I'll show you what I'm planning on doing. So this is the team, and I'm thinking I do Martial out to Nketiah to get, and then KDB to Bruno, right? And that's a -4. Now, the third move is kind of like I could do it, I don't need to do it also kind of situation. But it's between 2 options. I could do, so it's got to involve Martinelli because I can't get triple Arsenal otherwise, because I have Ben White as well. So it'll be Martinelli to either Mitoma, or I could also do Martinelli to Mahrez if I wanted to. That is where I am at the moment. Now, the thing is, if I was to do Martinelli to Mitoma right now, when I come to Gameweek 23, I'll be in a situation where I'll have a midfield of Mitoma, Bruno Fernandes, Marcus Rashford, Odegaard, and Almiron, who could go to Mahrez then. So then I'll have that midfield 5 and a front 3 of Nketiah, Haaland, and Kane. And ideally, I don't want to drop that front 3 because all 3 of their fixtures are good. And the midfield also looks good in terms of their fixtures for that week. So I'm a bit unsure what to do, whether I want to actually bring Mitoma right away, or do I kind of like wait, see out the double game week 20. I mean, see out until blank game week 25, and bring in Mahrez instead. I don't know.
Why did you? I mean, 2 questions, right? Yeah. So Martial is not injured.
Martial is supposed to be back in the matchday squad for Forest, but I don't know what his fitness is like.
Sure.
And I don't think he'll play both games. I think, and I think Bruno is obviously the way superior asset and could easily outscore him by a lot.
True. So, did you say United got a game before this weekend?
Yeah, the second leg of the Forest game.
Okay.
But I'm expecting a very rotated team, but Martial could feature in that just to get some minutes.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So I just hope Rashford doesn't get injured. I'll probably wait until tomorrow to make the change.
He probably won't play,
Okay,
I think, because we're already 3-0 up, so there's no real reason to
True.
this thing. So yeah, that's
But why are you getting rid of Martinelli when Arsenal is playing double next
to get
week?
Nketiah in that forward line?
Mm.
Is that really?
Just feel like it's a bit waste of points, isn't it?
Probably. It depends on how. Probably, because like it's a 4-point hit. The question is whether Nketiah can outscore Martinelli over the next couple of weeks, or is it just too reactionary?
Yeah, I just feel like you try to swap Arsenal player with another Arsenal player.
But the only problem is, if I was to drop Martial now to get Bruno Fernandes, I need to swap Martial with someone.
So you don't have enough for... Oh, you got 3 Arsenal players
Yeah,
already.
I have 3 Arsenal players. No, but like the thing is, swapping Martial to... I don't know, that's the thing, right? So there isn't really any good option to swap Martial to, if that makes sense. Now, I could go for a Leeds player and just make that third striker spot useless because I probably don't really need it if I pack my midfield. But at the same time, I'm like, I feel like Nketiah is a decent option as well. But I don't know.
It is 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, true.
That's kind of because it's just because I have to replace Martial to get Bruno Fernandes in. So if I didn't have Martial, then I probably wouldn't be thinking about this Nketiah move. And I would probably still keep Martinelli. That's kind of the situation I'm in right now.
Yeah, true. Or are you thinking about? Do you ever thinking about just have 2 premium strikers and the other ones someone like Greenwood or someone really cheap?
Yeah, so I could probably do like I could go Martial to Noto, the Leeds player, and then obviously don't use him after that for the upcoming other weeks after that. And then I'll still have my triple Arsenal in Martinelli, Odegaard, and Ben White for 23. Or I could also move Ben White to Gabriel in that week if I wanted to. But then I can do for this week, I can go KDB to Bruno and Martial to Noto as the only 2 moves. But I don't know.
Yeah. Or get rid of Almiron to get Mitoma.
Yes, that could also be done. Almiron to Mitoma, but then that will involve the -8. So then that's it, right? So then it's a -8, right? So then the
-8.
Yeah. So the -8 is either Almiron goes out or Martinelli goes out.
True.
And then Martial goes out for either Nketiah or Noto. So when you look at those comparisons, now obviously I had to get Almiron out eventually because Gameweek 25 blanks, so I need to get him out anyways. But I don't need to get him out immediately is the thing. So then when you look at it, I'm looking at, okay, who am I taking out? Who am I bringing in? The players I'm bringing, like between Nketiah and Noto, I feel like Nketiah is just going to outscore Noto by like a long way.
Yeah, true.
And then between Almiron, I think at this point doesn't really matter because he'll be on the bench for when I play. If I'm playing at 3-4-3, he's on the bench. So it's kind of like not really a factor too much. So then it's between Martinelli and Nketiah and who will score more points between Martinelli and Nketiah.
Yeah, true. I mean, another thing to think about.
Yeah.
When did you get Martinelli? When did you
I've
get
had him. I have that still that I've had him from the start since Gameweek 1.
Would you lose value?
0.3.
Oh.
But at the same time, I'm not too worried about team value because I think I have a decent amount of team value if I wasn't mistaken.
Okay.
Because I already have 0.8 in the bank as well without doing that move.
Right.
So I'm not too worried about team value per se.
Okay. I mean, with Odegaard, you don't lose too much, right?
No. I only recently got Odegaard and he's already gone up after that as well. So not too... And I'm happy to keep Odegaard because I feel like he's going to play regardless because he's your captain. And he also now seems to be getting on the end of a lot of things.
True. Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of the thinking. So would you do Nketiah or would you keep Martinelli? Is the question.
Well, it is a tricky one.
Yeah.
It is a tricky one, but I think I told you before, I don't like to keep two midfielders from the same club.
Yeah, fair enough.
So if that is why, if I were you, I probably would do what you just said.
Yeah.
Because I typically don't
fair
keep
enough.
two midfielders. So I will get a striker.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
And Eddie is a good striker.
Yeah. And most likely to play until Gabriel Jesus is back, and Gabriel Jesus is probably not
100%.
back anytime soon.
No.
Yep. All right. Fair enough. I'll most likely end up doing that. Let's see whether it pays off or not. I don't know. And in terms of captaincy or triple captaincy, most likely end up Rashford triple captaincy.
That's one, but that's what I'm doing as well.
But we'll have to just see the Forest game as well, just to make sure nothing happens there, like in terms of injuries or anything. Cool.
Yeah.
That is basically it. Anything else to kind of mention?
What about the penalty?
Oh, penalties? You mean for United or?
Oh no, our team,
Oh yes, good point. That penalty is doing insanely so well that I am like, at this point, it can just go on autopilot. The panel team is
89.
at 89 points. Your Mitoma suggestion came in straight away.
Yeah.
And it's at a rank of 39k.
What? Wow.
And it has 2 free transfers this week.
2?
Yeah, it has 2 free transfers. And 3.8 million in the bank.
Wow.
So the other thing is, it doesn't really need to use. I mean, we can use the 2 free transfers, but at the same time, we look at the team and I'm like, we already have triple Arsenal. I mean, who do we put? Darwin on the bench?
Yeah, 100%.
Who do you drop from this team?
You got Havertz. This team is great.
I don't know how this panel team came to be like this, but yes.
What have we done here? I suppose, right? If we have to use transfer.
Yes, we have to. Havertz.
Boatman. Get rid of Boatman. We got 3 United, so
yeah, we have to probably look after Gameweek 25 sooner or later.
So either Arsenal or City, or we're looking ahead. Well, there's nothing.
I can't believe we have 2 like expensive strikers doing absolutely nothing.
Wow. Do we want to get Eddie in?
We could actually, because we have only 2 Arsenal.
Yeah, let's just get Eddie.
Okay.
Right? Get rid of Darwin.
Yeah. Transfers. Where is Nketiah? Look at that, he's already up. 5.9 in the bank.
Wow, got more money now.
I think we just do this and then we keep the roll over the next transfer.
Yeah, let's do that. I think we're pretty happy with this, right?
Yeah, so I make a transfer. Confirm transfer.
Mm-hmm.
And then we start Eddie for Bodman?
Yeah. Then, Havertz is first.
Fulham.
This is a good team, eh?
Yeah.
Do you want to Mahrez? Do you think Havertz got more chance to score than Mahrez?
I don't know.
Even Boatman probably get more points than Mahrez, isn't it? Like
probably, because if
Newcastle keep a clean sheet, and this team is packed with good players.
Exactly. I don't know how, but like post World Cup, we tried to be differential, and we picked players who like Mahrez and Fernandes, who we thought were very differential.
Yeah,
and we picked Botman as well, and they just paid off like crazy.
So I don't know. I mean, you can make that decision. Then what are you gonna do?
The thing is,
Mahrez, I just feel like Botman
last time but then the last time Mahrez played Spurs, he ended up with 17 points.
I don't know. I think whatever we do with this team is gonna pay off.
I feel like I usually like to prefer the attacker over defender in most cases. So it's between either Havertz or Mahrez, and I'm happy to keep it on Mahrez because Spurs at the moment don't look that great, to be honest. And they are a bit weak down the center as well, so I'm still happy to like.
All right, well, let's go with this then.
Okay.
Do you know, like, all your three, we should use the bench boost on this.
Ooh, but then Bueno is playing Liverpool. And Ward is playing Aston Villa. That is true. I mean, this bench could score well, but I don't know. I feel like bench boost, you should at least have a bit more doubles.
Yeah, true.
But I won't be surprised if this bench scores 20 points. That's a possibility.
Exactly. Havertz might score 2. Boltman keep a clean sheet.
Yeah.
Wolves keep a clean sheet. And Leicester City keep a clean sheet. Then you have... Now, do you know what? Let's go with this.
Triple captaincy, or do we have? Yeah, we have it.
Let's be a bit different, right?
Okay.
Let's just captain Rashford and see how we go.
Captain Rashford? All right. See how we go. All right. Sweet.
So you want to vice captain Fernandes?
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, I think Rashford will play. I don't think
yeah. Okay. We will see what happens. I mean, I won't be surprised if this is another green arrow and this climbs further.
Oh, yeah, you keep going up.
We should just put this as like our main team at this point and advertise it as our main team.
It is. That's the team coming from everyone's input, right? So.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like doing so well. Oh well, we'll see how it does. 5.8 million now in the bank as well with this team. I don't know how it's this good, but it is. Alright, cool. So that's the panel team doing madness. I think top 10k for this panel team should be the goal at this rate.
I think so. Top 5,000.
Yeah, we'll see. Alright, cool. That's basically that. Anything else to add?
No, that's all good.
Alright, sweet. We'll call it there then. So thank you, Roy, for joining me. And for anyone who's watched up to this point, make sure to hit the like button, hit that subscribe button as well, and let me know in the comments what you're doing, whether you're playing your triple captaincy chip or not, and if so, on who. Having said all of that, thank you to Roy. We'll see you all later.
Yep, see you, mate. Good luck.